Hey, it's Lee at Craftsman Direct, and I'm in Burlington today looking at a deck, and I'm going to share this video with my customer and kind of talk aloud what I see. And let's see if I can get this little guy in here. Yeah, you can see a surprising amount. All right, that's a pier that I'm pointing to, and as you can see visually, it is crooked. Engineers call that deflection, and deflection's not good because it doesn't carry loads well. And you see the one behind it equally crooked, and they're both leaning. All three of these are leaning the exact same way. Another thing that you see is that's a little 2x6 joist that's it's funny how they supported that, because they got the 2x4 functioning as a ledger board on the top of it, when it had been a heck of a lot better if it had been on the back. That might be a 2x8. And then they've got what appears to be a single 2x10 girder running down that span, but it's at 24-inch centers, and that's the reason I'd like to replace this part. And let's substitute all the 4x4 with the 6x6. And let's see. Let's see if you can. Yeah, you see that that pier right there is leaning dramatically. Okay. Yeah. When you feel up underneath, it's a 2x4. And the only band they have is this 2x12, and they should have a double 2x10 if they're going to place this perimeter board, which gives you the sunken look, which I like. I mean, it's a nice look, but that's not supported by underneath here. It's suspect. I've also seen no evidence of any flashing. And the flash basically is a galvanized steel that should run that back perimeter, and I just don't see it. They could have stopped it short, but I would like to see evidence of the galvanized flash. Let me get some measurements. What we have. See here. It's about the end right here. Now, the chimney is, and that's what, 14 feet here. And the chimney's going to take out about 2 feet by, let's call it 5, and let's do a length. We'll go to 13. How about let's go to 14 right here. Okay. And then we're going to have to add. It should make it. Okay, that's about 14 by 11. Now there's a good indication of what we're going to find. And that is, that's a 2x8, and that's about 16s on center, which is exactly where it's supposed to be. And all I would like to do here is I'll send you a video of, or some pictures of a deck build we did. A customer actually liked the rail. If you do, we'll build the same thing. If you can Google deck railing and find something you like better, we would build that.
Well, I've got a question for you about the railing.
Sure.
A couple of things.
Yeah.
One is, I really don't like the way that they've got this spaced.
The 2x4s,
yeah.
The 4x4s, yeah. I agree. I don't build decks like that. You lose too much of your square footage.
Yeah. So I think it'd be nice if we could, is to, to cut those down.
Sure.
And then try to space the thing more evenly along the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And this, the 2 by whatever,
Yeah.
Was that 10?
That's 12.
12? You know, is not the best looking thing. Is it possible to cover that on the outside with something just for more cosmetic look?
And I think I can remove it completely. It's it looks like it's just cosmetic. People will put that there to give the deck a sunken look, meaning that the decking boards is actually even at the top of it. See, this side appears by feel to have a double band, because when I grab it, I'm grabbing that much lumber.
Okay.
And that is probably a double 2x10, being 1.5 inches on each side, which is exactly what I should feel. That side, I don't feel that.
Right.
And I felt something this wide, and when I went up the face, it turned into a 2x4, which I'm anxious enough to get that. But what they've done is, this is up here, it's going all the way into the ground. I'm assuming it's on a footing, and we could use that, and it's like you said, cut it off. We would put bolts through this. We would remove that the 2x12 around the perimeter, and what you would then see would be the outer piece of the deck band, which is what's below it. We expect it to be a 2x10.
Well, would it make sense to try to just replace that with something that's nicer looking?
Sure. I mean, it looks like that they've chosen to paint it, which that might be the thing that you don't care for.
Well, and the fact that, you know, it's starting to bend down there at the end, it doesn't match up real well.
Sure. Understand. Okay. We could take it off and put a new 2x12 on, and I would hope that it would weather better in time.
Yeah.
But I mean, wood is a non-precise item, meaning that there is a chance that in time you could have a little split and movement in it. Basically, what you see is cupping. And
or is there any way that you could just make that, especially on the end, look less?
Well, there's a couple ways. I mean, you know, when you're marrying things up like this, and one is that they didn't do a very good job, because they've got one piece coming in here, one there, and it's a short fit, meaning that I've 3/4 of an inch gap or one, but you would cut 45s and bevel to form a 90, and it would be our highest hope. And one of the things we could do to better ensure that you had a pretty exterior board is we could go to the slightly added cost of buying lumber that was already dry.
Okay.
So that there wouldn't be additional shrinkage in your cosmetic pieces.
Okay.
And for people that have time pressure or an interest in things like that, I don't like the railing for lots of reasons. You know, I don't particularly like the color, but that's just me. You've got a rounded 2x6 here, and your actual handrails is supposed to be no greater than 4 inches because it should be graspable. And to have a support board here and then your spindles on the outside, I've not seen anything like it. And it doesn't mean it's not a fine railing. The proof of the pudding, the engineers will tell you, is if they can do this, and this is extremely strong. And that's one of the reasons I do like it. Cosmetically, I don't care for it. But I will tell you that our build team is capable of building anything you want. If you can give me a picture, we can get an engineer to design it, or I can design it on paper, and we can build it.
One of the things that I've seen that I thought was attractive, and I don't know if you guys have ever worked with them, are cable rails. Have you ever dealt with those?
Never have.
I've seen some, and they did look nice.
Sure.
I don't know what the local code is for something like that, but
the code is 4 inches.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that every craftsman on the planet will take a 2x4, which is roughly 3.5 after milling, and they will design a place for your very first baluster, and then they'll take that 2x4 and put it here, and your second baluster will go there, and they'll put a fastener in, and then keep doing it for the top. And then what they're supposed to do for the bottom is use a level, so that every single one of them is plumb.
Okay.
And then your fasteners go in, and then you should have a pair of double screws. Now, the problem with the railing that goes into the band, although it is stronger, what you see in the event that the people with pine straws, with things like this, is you put a 2x4 at the bottom, so you can sweep off, or blow off, or spray off, and you don't have the problem of these guys hanging up in here like this. And the railing is on code, and it's appropriate. And that, I mean, that's one of the things that we like to do, is to construct something that'll give you a long-term maintenance joy instead of a long-term maintenance heartache.
Yeah. How clear is the decking you guys use? Is it pretty? I've seen some decking around here that just doesn't look very nice. It's
I'll install anything you like if you guys go out to a mill, or actually most of the deck packages we're buying is from Home Depot. And I know Lowe's has got a funny color on their lumber.
Yeah. And
lots of people don't like it because it's kind of a brownish green, and the Home Depot lumber looks more like a piece of treated wood. It's got a slight greenish tint from what they're treating with. It's called copper oxide, and you know copper burns green from physical chemistries and things. And you see just a little tint, not much.
Okay.
And but I would dissuade people actively from building with composites because it's harder to keep them clean. And once mold gets inside the plastics, you can't get it out. And I can take a deck, really one that looked a lot worse than this, and make it look brand new. Every 10 years, if you neglect it. If you don't, it'll never look bad. We can put a sealer on it. Basically, my moisture meter would read about 95% for a deck package that we got from Home Depot that we're building with today, and we would like for it to read about 12% if we were sealing it. So if you want us to seal it, you probably would need to think in terms of several weeks to months.
What do you use to seal it with?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
You pick the
colors.
colors.
What do you mean several weeks to months?
Drying. Dry time.
Right.
Yeah.
You mean we couldn't walk on it?
No.
Yeah, we can't seal it.
You just can't seal it for several weeks to months.
Yeah. So if it's blazing sun in August when we're doing the build, which I kind of hope it's not, but if it is, then if we can keep everything off of it for about 2 to 3 weeks in blazing sun in a drought, maybe a week until I can stick that moisture meter, and I don't mean in the top, but I mean it's got to be up in the underside in the shaded portions, because I want the sealer, the wood to drink, so that it penetrates and it gives you a long-term water protection.
But you can't put it on in weather like this.
No. I would want it to last, and if we put it on in a damp environment, I don't know that you would get 1 year.
Yes.
On the up here where they built this, I mean, I'm assuming, and I have assumed, that when you get over to this end, there's a bunch of you're going to have to just completely redo on the structure.
I would feel more comfortable. I noticed you were listening to me talk out, and you can actually stick, look in the piers, or basically the 4x4 Coleman deck up. They are at an extreme angle, and there's so many of them at that angle. I'm wondering if there's any push. And
but I wouldn't be surprised about anything really. But what is the difference in the pitch going to be a problem, or do you think you can level it up between the two sides?
I would like to, probably I would have to do this quote in pieces. To say, for example, that I'm assuming I need to ask, you probably don't want to see this board.
Yeah.
When we're done.
More that one that's going that way.
Sure. So that basically, if I understand right, I would offer a quote to remove and replace everything from this line that way. And it's going to be your railing to whatever you send us. All of the decking boards. We'll inspect the superstructure, make sure it meets expectations. If I don't see galvanized flashing, I would like to add it. Because if it doesn't, it's going to leak. And then I would ask you, we could maintain the existing stair, and just remove your railing, and we'll put really whatever rail you want. And then, as we discover things, which I don't expect we will,
we can offer a quote for this kind of repair, and then I would offer a second quote from basically this line forward. And probably the way I would structure it is to say that quote one is we assume that we tear everything out, take it to the landfill and replace it.
Yeah.
The other thing is to say that, okay, let's assume that we have a decent girder set and that it'll support the joist. And the problem with the joist is they're 24-inch center. So let's put one in the middle of each and make it a 12-inch center. That's overkill, but we got to put them somewhere. We can't leave a 24. So if I go to a split here at the 12, that's 1, 2, 3, that's only 4 doors. At, what did I say, that was what, 14 feet. So we'll get, and slip them in however we need to. And then we'll look at the piers. I mean, and if we take it apart and we say, you know, this is all lackluster at best, and it's smart to remove everything and start over, then we'll have a quote in there for that, a contingency. I feel it. I would swear I feel it.
Oh yeah, it's not.
You know.
Yeah. It's not.
And I would say that gosh, it probably lasts until the end of time, but we don't want to change that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. For a run this long, how do you deal with the boards? Well, I know you're not going to get them that are that big.
Yeah.
But how do you match them so that it doesn't look odd when they all come together in a line? Do you overlap them or?
We'll give you seconds because I go to so many decks. That, for example, on a 25-foot run, and we have a 12-foot board or a 16-foot board. Is that I mean, for example, what we would probably do is come all the way out to the end of the chimney length, and then maybe the first board would run to 16, and the rest would run all the way out.
Okay.
And then the next board we would pre-cut it maybe down to 14.
Oh, okay.
So, and then 12, 10, 8, and so that you would have, and I got a bunch of decks where it looked like it was so obvious that they laid all their 12-foot boards down and ran a seam, and then put all their 9-foot boards down.
Okay.
And I said, that's not the right way to build, because the seam is the weak point, and you want the weak point to vary. And that's kind of what we did. I'm going to give you this option too, and I like it from one perspective, and I don't like it from another. Because I'm going to suggest that you do have an entrance point here, and what we could do is run that 16 straight across here all the way down, and you will have no seam.
No. So do you then have to put new joists in everywhere?
Yeah. But I want to make it an option available. That is an option because you got this loose part up here.
Okay.
But most people, they want the main part of the house in the decking boards to run parallel.
Yeah.
But I would say that the staggered seam, I've not had anyone unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that the stairs will have to be replaced. I mean, those boards are good, but what's underneath it isn't.
Well, I mean, this a 4-tread stair. We could cut another probably maybe I'd say 3-4 feet in cut stringers and install them. I know they've got stainless steel screws in. And it's, on the one hand, stainless steel it's not supposed to rust. I know it does because I'm from Charlston and they do. We'll put stainless steel screws in my sister's beach house, and 2 years later we'll be replacing them because they rusted.
When you put the boards down, how do you guys normally do it?
Which one?
The decking. How do you normally fasten it?
Oh, I always use screws. And after I get to know my customers, I'm able to teach them a little bit and tell them that we took the boat, we decided we like to. Well, use screws and not nails. I would never ever nail it down because they back out.
Oh yeah, that's sure do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably saw Linnell, and they don't name her, but the porch we just built in Henderson was one of her testimonials. And it was Shane and Josh out there doing the build, and she was very happy with that. And I can get her in touch with you about how it is to work with us, and And because I mean, honestly, I'm a retired school teacher. I did IT, and I do this because I enjoy it. And we've got a bunch of nice decks and porches for people.
Now with the water underneath, do we need to look at doing something underneath the deck as well?
I'm going to list your help and kind of looking around your plot and where's the low spot. I mean, if this is the low spot, there's not a lot you can
The
do.
low spot should be that corner,
Okay.
right over there.
So with that in mind, I'm going to say that, well, I mean, you can look through this whole one,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
you know, and
I think some of what's happened is that over the years, as we've had the landscapers out,
it builds up around
it builds up around it.
You create a pool by your house, which is your foundation, and the pool doesn't
Yeah.
get along real well. It wasn't alarmingly bad. When I first saw it, I saw pooling water, and I think what happened is pine straw didn't allow me to see anything. We see that little spot right there.
But we could get the landscape people, if it would help, to try to, on this side particularly, to try to, you know, when they come back, clean this down some. Because it used to be at the level of the bottom of that ladder.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure that would make a big difference.
What I'm thinking, I'm thinking about cost benefit. And things I don't want to do is advise you to do things that I think about later. And it may not be done, but let's just file it under suggestion. Is if we get up underneath there and we have a lot of cooling water, and the way we solve that is we raise the area under the deck so water doesn't want to be there, it wants to go downhill or go somewhere else. And the somewhere else I would like for it to go is exactly where that good is. And then if, and we can do this, if this is part of your landscape, you can put down some corrugated tubes to head towards that low spot. And one of the things that it would have to be gently sloped, or at least a neutral slope, so that once it accumulated here, then it would head that direction.
Well, I think what probably what I would like you guys to think about is you come out here, take these apart, look underneath it, if it looks like there needs to be something done, just go ahead and do it.
Sure. But I'm thinking, you know, here's the options. We built decks like this on the second floor, where up underneath the joist, there's coordinate panels. There's a UV on them, and you know they look like a sign ring. And you kind of tack them up really high to the joist on here, and then you'll let them run up underneath the joist, and you put a 2x4 on the other side and tack them up again so they have a natural slope. So all your water that will hit here, instead of going down here, actually goes down that way. And then it kind of runs down, and it will spill out in those situations into a gutter. And that gutter system will grab the water. You can actually have a little downspout and then drop into your corrugated tubing and shoot that way.
Okay.
That would work.
So this would be dry as your phone.
Yeah.
And
That would sure help with the mosquitoes.
let me teach you something.
Yeah, don't leave me in the hole.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is exciting.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I was going to open this, except the key here is longer.
Yeah, we got a tool with that. We just had a dehumidifier put in
Yeah,
this past year.
yeah. But,
It's
it's,
supposed to be as dry as a bone in there.
well, yeah, it's supposed to be. Have you seen it?
Not
recently.
No, okay.
I think what happened is it came loose on the other end
Yeah.
and it just slid down. You need a screwdriver or something?
I don't know. I hate to fail at a thing, But I don't know that I can piece it separate here because the latch itself is actually shorter.
Yeah.
But you know, I may have to. I'll leave that as a homework assignment for you guys. We just had a nice rain. Did you have a nice rain?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did.
And it's a great time to take a peek at this thing and open it and actually see.
And you need to fix your latch.
I'm hoping it's still dry. But that's is that for your AC?
I'm not sure that does much anymore.
Not that.
Yeah, I think they ran it out to the side now when they replaced the furnace and the.
Yeah. But the vent's covered up. I see the shiny metal.
Mm-hmm.
So air can't enter or take it.
Yeah, they did that when they did the humidifier.
It would make sense that you would enclose the environment and let the mechanical device control your humidity. But I would say in most houses you let the wind control your humidity. But yeah, you got some corrugated tubing up underneath here. Just sitting right down there. Well,
We need to have them come out and check that humidifier though.
that way. Alright, got a branch in it. And the one is running right by that divot way over there. And I've got these two pieces coming out right there. You can see the top of it right there.
Oh yeah.
See that. And I'm not sure what their function is, but we got coaxial cables on the HCD. It's that, but it's not that wet. There are some places where there's some cooling, but the only reason you have that is because they're a little heavy and it's not flat. So probably all I would have is a couple of wood barrels and silver. And go up the top where you've got the indentation going in.
Okay.
I think that's probably what you
You
need.
want to ask me about the doors?
Oh yeah. Do you guys do anything other than decks?
We do everything. Well, I'd like to say that. If you like to open that and read the inside,
Okay.
it gives you.
What about doors? Do you guys do exterior doors? Well, we've got two we want to replace. We want to replace this one and the one on the front door.
That's a double frame,
Mm-hmm.
standard 80 high. It's a 36 opening. And I think those start roughly around $750 to $800 at Home Depot.
Now, can you get them flat on the outside?
With what?
What, aluminum or vinyl? Something that's not too much maintenance?
Well, it's just another industry joke that I would recommend fiberglass.
Oh,
And I can get fiberglass too.
okay. Okay, well, that's fine. Just, again, I think we're looking to get something, make it right, and then keep it low maintenance.
If I get a fiberglass door for you, it's suggested that it doesn't have the capability of rock. It holds paint very well, whatever color you choose.
Mm-hmm.
And the climate control on it with the double pane Bowie, argon filled or whatever.
What's the inside? Is it wood on the inside or fiberglass all the way?
I need to check. But my guess is going to be fiberglass would be on both sides painted.
Mm-hmm.
But they might have a wood lane. Let me make some notes on the deck.
Okay.
I want to run some video. Oh,